Al Roker and Deborah Roberts' Untold story is not written in headlines or highlight reels, but in the quiet accumulation of moments that tested, strengthened, and ultimately deepened their bond. Moments that unfolded far from cameras, yet shaped everything that followed. Their shared journey began with ambition and professional respect. Two journalists navigating demanding careers, unaware at first how profoundly their lives would intertwine. And as they built their relationship, they quickly learned that love between two driven individuals requires patience, humility, and the courage to grow alongside one another rather than in competition. Their early sacrifices, missed dinners, long separations, and the constant pressure of public visibility that forced them to communicate honestly about fears they rarely voiced aloud, including the worry that success might pull them in opposite directions. One of their most emotional shared moments came during times of health uncertainty, when vulnerability replaced confidence and strength was measured not by endurance but by presence. By sitting together in hospital rooms, holding hands through long nights, and learning that promises mean the most when life feels fragile. Deborah learned how deeply Al valued humor, not as a shield, but as a way to soften fear, while Al saw in Deborah a quiet steadiness that grounded him when the world felt unpredictable. Parenthood added another layer to their story, bringing moments of overwhelming joy and deep responsibility as they navigated how to raise a family while balancing relentless schedules, discovering that love expands when shared purpose replaces individual momentum. There were moments of doubt, too, when exhaustion blurred patience and misunderstanding surfaced. But instead of retreating, they learned to pause, listen, and recognize that emotional honesty was not a threat to stability, but its foundation. Their most powerful moments were often unseen, conversations whispered after long days, shared glances during public events that said more than words, and the simple act of choosing each other again during seasons when life felt especially heavy. As Al faced public health struggles, Deborah's unwavering support revealed a kind of love that does not seek acknowledgement, only understanding. And through those challenges, they both confronted the reality that life's most meaningful chapters are rarely scripted. Deborah reflected on how partnership meant allowing herself to be strong without being hardened, while Al recognized that true resilience came not from standing alone, but from leaning into trust. Over the years, they learned that marriage is not defined by the absence of hardship, but by the willingness to face it together, finding grace in imperfection and humor in uncertainty. Their untold story is made of emotional intersections, moments when fear met hope, when gratitude followed pain, and when growth emerged from discomfort. And through it all, they discovered that love evolves, shaped by shared endurance and quiet devotion. In reflecting on their journey, both understand that their most emotional moments were not the ones the world applauded, but those that changed them internally, teaching them that partnership is less about grand gestures and more about consistency, compassion, and the courage to remain open even when life asks the hardest questions, making their story not just one of romance, but of resilience, empathy, and enduring connection.